Turn it over to our superintendent for her updates.
Give a big shout round of appreciation on behalf of the Brantley County Board of Education and myself to the Brantley County volunteer fire departments. Many of you this morning we woke up to some excitement. Georgia, unfortunately, our cafeteria was on fire thanks to the quick response that we had from our volunteer firemen. The electrical issue that we had was quickly put out, and I believe we actually got to serve the kitchen yet, but serve kids again tomorrow, maybe, Miss Boyd, in the cafeteria. And also just want to thank our nutrition the county, because it's been a big team effort getting the food from the other schools to Hoboken while the cafeteria has been out of service. So big thank you.
One that came in early that morning and found the fire.
Yes, we actually had a school nutrition worker at work before 5:45 that morning, and that she smelled the smoke. So we hate to think what could have happened had she not went into work early that morning. So absolutely. To share with you guys tonight some brand new news that we found out today. The grant to provide STEM-based professional learning and kits for classrooms, and according to Governor Deal, between now and the year 2020, STEM fields will introduce more than 79,000 new jobs in Georgia. With this partnership between Project Lead the Way and the Governor's Office of Student Achievement in place, schools will be able to implement strategies that will prepare our students of today to be a workforce for tomorrow. We have received a total of, or been awarded a total of $150,845 for STEM training for our teachers and for STEM labs and curriculum in Brantley County. And like I said, that's new news today. So we're very excited. Big thank you to school administrators and the teachers that helped work on this grant application. Next, we'll have our sports update by Mr. Cummings.
I'm just going to stay away from that. Okay, we'll start with the middle school. Spring sports are in full swing. The baseball team has already started. They split wins at the scrimmage with Ware and Waycross last weekend. And they played a game against Martha Puckett last week and came up a little short, but they play tonight in Long County and have a home game this Thursday. Golf has started practice, and their first match will be March 1st. And we'll be hosting the championships for middle school golf this year, and that'll be on March 27th at Laura Walker. So we'll have more info on that as we get closer. Middle school soccer, this is our first year having soccer, boys and girls. We have around 40 students participating, so we're proud of that, and their first home game will be next Wednesday at the rec department. Middle school track is practicing, and I believe we host a meet next Thursday, so middle school track next Thursday at home. Seeing them out there run up and down those bleachers and all over that track, they're working hard. The tennis team for the middle school have 2 matches. They beat Arthur Williams last Thursday, and I just left the high school where they beat Bacon County today. So hopefully a good season for our middle school tennis players. Shift up to the high school. Boys soccer has played, boys and girls soccer have played 1 game. They both played coffee and they came up a little short, but they're out there working hard and looking forward to some wins in the region. Baseball is kicking off. They had their 100-inning game this past weekend. I know a lot of folks made it out there, and they did an alumni game, play 100 innings to raise money. So they also had a scrimmage last week, and they'll play 2 home games this week. So if you want to see some baseball, we've got home baseball Tuesday and Thursday out at the high school. Basketball, both the girls and boys lost in the first round of the playoffs, so that is the end of the year for them. We'll have their all-region placements and all that probably in the next meeting, so we can have those students up here and recognize them. Tennis has also started at the high school, and they played Ware County and had big victories, both boys and girls, over Ware County, so that's a great start for the tennis team. And they have a home match tomorrow as well, so you can go watch tennis and baseball tomorrow. Can't beat that. All right. And last but not least, left wrestling for last because we had some big success I've got some paragraphs here to go over. I want to recognize these students, but we'll have them in person as well coming up. But real quick, their regular season finished 21-11. 21-11. They placed 4th as a team in the area duels. They finished 5th in the traditionals. At Pierce County, we had multiple student athletes advance to sectionals, 7 of them, and they were Eddie Singletary, Austin Cooper, Josh Johnson, Drew Stone, Antonio Ciccone, Alex Sandoval, and Josh Strickland. And we also had 3 wrestlers that advanced to state this past weekend, and that was Eddie Singletary, Austin Cooper, and Josh Strickland. And Eddie and Austin, they finished 6th in the state in their weight class, and Josh 8th. So that is awesome. We're very proud of them. They work very hard, as do their coaches, and they pretty much are at it all year round to get ready for this season. So we're excited to have them up here in person maybe next month to recognize them. I believe that is it.
All right, thank you. And can I get you to get the lights for us, Mr. Cummins, please? But leave these, turn these on above me, please. Yes, thank you. All right. See some students who have recently represented Brantley County and made some very impressive achievements. Some of these students are here tonight and some will be here next month. In the top left corner, you will see Eddie Singletary and Austin Cooper that Mr. Cummins just talked about. They placed 6th in the state in their weight class at the state wrestling matches in Macon this past weekend. You can also see a picture of our basketball standout, Jalen Williams. In addition to breaking his own basketball record in the last couple of weeks with 51 points, he was recently named Region Basketball Player of the Year. We look forward to having Eddie, Austin, and Jalen at the March board meeting to recognize them. The other pictures include some FBLA region winners, along with Nahunta Elementary School 5th grade student Maggie Harris, who placed top in the recent regional science fair in Douglas, Georgia. And we'll have more science fair recognition just a little bit later in the meeting. Next slide, please. We recently celebrated both School Counselor Appreciation Day and Paraprofessional Appreciation Day. This slide is just a sample of some truly wonderful adults who pour into children every day on the job. On behalf of the Board of Education and myself, we would like to publicly say thank you to our counselors and paraprofessionals for all they do for our children. The next slide is a variety of recent happenings in our schools, from PBIS celebrations to the 100th day of school emphasis, volleyball with Coach Pop, science fair projects. You can see our Brantley County Spelling Bee winner, Brantley County Middle School 8th grader Jessie Harrell, pictured as well. Next, we will have our video with a Valentine theme that Dr. Haney prepared. Gotta have some.
printing.
Model for a video game. It's just a bunch of cubes assembled together with a skeletal figure with a lot of cubes. It's part of my website.
Okay, what's BHP?
It's a coding that gives the form submit button what it needs to do. Right? It takes what you put down in your survey and it processes it.
About a new spot where you can take a digital escape to another world, virtual reality playgrounds. So, is it the next big thing?
Fifth grade gifted class in Grassley County, Georgia. And we think that we are playground is the next big thing.
Okay, if we can get the lights, Mr. Cummings. Next, we've got some recognition from the schools, and we'll begin with Atkinson Elementary School and Dr. Lee.
First, I'd like to recognize Hannah Robertson and Aaliyah Porter. Hannah belongs to Joseph and Michelle Robertson. They are going to Science Fair. They won first place in going to state for their Science Fair in chemistry. Aaliyah Porter is Timothy and Teresa Hill's child. Hannah and Aaliyah, if you'll come up. Another person was Abby Tayo. She's not here with us. Her parents are Pete and Kim Tayo. She won first place, qualified in life science. This is the first time that AES has ever had students to qualify to go to state for Science Fair.
We are super proud at Hoboken Elementary School of Mr. Ben Smith. His parents are John and Kim Smith. So Ben, if you'll come on up. He and Ethan Smith, his parents are Greg Smith and Samantha Leonard. And they are going to state. We're super proud of them. Good job. Thank you, guys. Proud of you. And then the same thing, Miss Mackenzie and Bethany Walker and Miss Lydia Carver. Her parents are Casey and Matthew Carver, and so that sounds interesting, doesn't it? Super. Good job, girls. Proud of you.
Nahant Elementary is super proud of Miss Maggie Harris, daughter of Chris and Rita Harris. She qualified first place in state for her physical science project.
She's also our system spelling bee runner-up.
Tonight we want to recognize an 8th grader that was already mentioned up in the video, Miss Jessie Harrell. Jessie, if you'll come on up. Jessie is an 8th grade student at Brantley Middle School. She's a daughter of Eddie and Margaret Harrell. And tonight we want to recognize her for being the Brantley County District Spelling Bee champion, and she'll be moving on to represent our county in February up in Savannah. So we're proud of Jessie. I also want to recognize tonight another young lady from Brantley County Middle School, and this is actually going to be Miss Ashley Galloway. She is a 7th grade math teacher at the middle school, and recently she was awarded a $1,000 new teacher assistance grant from Georgia Power Foundation. And Miss Galloway was selected by Georgia Power from the top 25% of her class at the College of Coastal Georgia, and she is actually the second member of Brantley Middle to receive this award. Mr. Randall McCarty actually was awarded about 6 years ago as well. So congratulations to Ms. Galloway, and we also appreciate Georgia Power as well.
Excellent first-year math teacher. Thank you.
We had two FFA students. I don't think Jaron is here, but and Miss Flowers as well. I don't think either of them made it tonight to the board meeting, but we did have both of them that we want to recognize. They made it to the state in the GGIA Junior Plant Certification General Knowledge, so they'll be moving on to compete in that. I have asked Miss Lauren Whitaker to come up and help me call the names for all of our FBLA students. I can't take a lot of credit for that because she's the one that kind of pushes them, but I will tell y'all. I actually had a lot more students too that I was going to recognize tonight too, but the FBLA kids kind of rocked it out. We didn't want to be here all night, so we decided to push some of them back till next month. So I'm actually going to turn it over to Miss Whitaker and let her call out all the students' names.
All right. Thank you guys for having us. On January 23rd, we competed in our region competition at Coffee County High School. We actually placed second overall over 21 other counties, and these guys have just been wonderful. They've done everything I've asked them to do. They've studied and worked hard, and I'm very, very proud of the work that they've put in. We competed in 13 different competitions, and we had 15 students advance to state. Our state competition is in Atlanta this year. So we will start with, let's see. For us. Okay. I'm sorry. Porter Mobley, 10th place in accounting, 1. 7th place. I'm sorry. Porter is not here. Caitlin Hyatt, 6th place in accounting, 1. Alyssa Santiago, 4th place in accounting, 1. Brian Rios, business calculations, 7th place. He's not here tonight. And Jacob Yeomans is also not here. He 5th place in business calculations. Abby is not here tonight. She's 4th place business communications. Rebecca Purdy is also not here. 1st place hospitality management. Ethan Crawford. Ethan's not here. 5th place future business leader. Peter Devine is not here. 3rd place in future business leader. Brian Rios and Jacob Yeomans are not here. Future business leaders, 2nd and 1st place. Alyssa Barber, 8th place in intro to business communication. He's not here. Branson is here. Koblenz, 6th place. Intro to business communication. Branson's parents are Brandon and Danielle Koblenz. Jake Wood, 7th place, Intro to Information Technology. His parents are Brandon and, Brett and is it Kristen? Kristen Wood. Branson Koblentz, also 6th place, Intro to Information Technology. Jason White, he's not here, 3rd place, Intro to Information Technology. And I am really pumped about this next one. Aiden Jennings, 1st place, Intro to Information Technology. He was one of my students. This was the first year I actually taught this subject, so I was excited about that. You learned something. All right, Elizabeth Howell. This was actually a team event, parliamentary procedure. These ladies all placed first: Elizabeth Howell, Tessa Dixon, Cheyenne Rowell, and Kaylee Hunter. Jake Wood, 4th place, Personal Finance. Tessa Dixon, 4th place, Publication Design, along with Jason White. And he is not here tonight. That was a team event. Porter Mobley, 3rd place, Public Speaking. He's not here tonight. Aiden Jennings, 1st place, Sports and Entertainment Management. And our last one that's not here is Kaylee Hunter. She placed 6th in word processing.
Turn your certificates face down. I need to see your certificates. Okay, on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me take one more. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Proud of you guys. All right, that concludes the superintendent's update.
All right, at this time, for those that would like to depart, you're more than welcome to stay, but we will take a 3-minute break and allow you to depart if you would like to do so. Is there any public participation? Hearing none, we'll move right along. Approval of the agenda. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any changes, additions, to the agenda? Hearing none, Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Carey? Yes. Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Disposition of the minutes on page 3 in your workbook. Need a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any corrections or changes to the minutes? Hearing none, Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Monthly financial reports on page 13 in your workbook. Need a motion to accept the monthly financial reports?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any corrections or questions, concerns about the monthly financial reports? Hearing none, Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. School financial reports on page 24 in your workbook. Those doesn't require a vote. Any questions or concerns about that? Does it? School financial? Is it school financial?
Okay, it's the.
Okay, I'm sorry. We do have to vote on that one. I'm sorry. Need a motion to accept the school financial reports?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any corrections or concerns about that? Hearing none. Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Athletic reports on page 106 in your workbook. Those do not require a vote. Any concerns or questions about that? Moving along, SPLOST report on page 109 in your workbook.
We've got $101,706.02. That's in revenues. That was money that was spent local. And then $41,145.69 in car tags for a grand total of $142,851.71. So that is phenomenal local, over $100,000. So keep buying your gas local.
Yes.
Across.
Thank you.
I'm curious. We're getting this into Taft. But that same amount of money used to be collected as sales tax and went into the general fund, and I wonder if we're fooling ourselves, if we're gonna miss it in our general budget.
We can track that and see. We can take a look at that and
We're gonna
see.
drop, because it's, the usage sales tax on cars, and that came, part of that came back to the local, part of it went to the state. And I think it's proportionate now to what's coming as a Taft, and it's showing up on this sheet, and counting against
We
our
can look at
SPLOST.
that and compare it for
And
next
you
month.
say, what does it matter? Well, our SPLOST is set to sunset at a time frame or an amount collected. So if our SPLOST collects out early, before it ages out, we would have to do a SPLOST election vote sooner. Just curious.
Yes, sir. Well, we can take a look, let him run a report and see.
Any other questions about that? Okay, moving along, action items.
Yes, sir. I would like to recommend to approve Mr. Adam Farrell as the board attorney for Brantley County Schools.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, I done told him we voting on him tonight.
He laid out on us, didn't he?
I'll do what I can, let him know how it turned out.
Hey. Any other concerns? Here, none? Yeah. Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Should have told him you got on the internet and seen how it turned out.
Next action item, I recommend to approve the agreement as presented between Brantley County Commissioners and Brantley County Board of Education for $4,400 to continue funding the partnership agreement for the 4-H program assistant who is employed by Brantley County Extension Office.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
This is something that we've done for the last several years,
It's a good
partnered
program.
with them.
Very good program.
Hearing none, Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
Next action item, Microsoft agreement. I recommend to approve the bid of $28,068.77 from CDWG for Microsoft license agreement as presented.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? This is just normal and it's
Yearly.
already in the budget. Yep. Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We need executive session for personnel?
We do not.
Okay.
I'd like to recommend the following resignations. Miss Becky Guy, paraprofessional at Atkinson Elementary School, and Miss Ruby Ann Sawyer, retiring at the end of the school year from Brantley County Middle School.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
I'd like to recommend for hire Mr. Aaron Beck for math teacher at Brantley County High School, and Mr. Ben Burkett, science teacher at Brantley County High School.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
I'd like to recommend the transfer of Miss Marcia Chesser from assistant principal at Brantley County High School to assistant principal at Brantley County Middle School.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Any other?
No, sir.
Before we go, I'd like for y'all to keep the Eric Johns family in your
Yes.
prayers. He's a '05 graduate of Brantley County Schools. And they're going through a tough time. Just keep them in y'all's prayers. Nothing else? Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
And a second?
Second. Go ahead.
Got it. Brenda's got it.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Teresa?
Yes.
Mr. David?
Yes.
Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
Chair votes yes.
35 minutes.
See y'all.